Hi, I'm Liquid Amber Girl, and today I'll be separating several house plants out of a combination planter. Join me.
Liquid Amber Girl, gardening.
Before we begin, I would just like to bask in the glory of my new potting table. This was a gift from my husband's uncle, and I feel like a kid at Christmas. Isn't it gorgeous? This planter is my grandma's and was a gift to her after the death of my uncle, her son, and so it's important to her. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a mess. This was sheet moss and has been killed off by the standing water in this pot. All this sheet moss is going straight onto my compost pile. Now I'm just going to use my hands to gently find the root ball of the first plant. And instead of one plant, I've pulled up two. So first I'm going to take an opportunity here to remove all of the dead leaves around these plants. To separate these, I'm going to gently divide the stalks of the plants and follow that divide down to the root ball, and then just gently separate the root balls. I have pots in several different sizes here. Don't be tempted to put a plant with a small root ball into a too large pot. Plants tend to do a lot better when their pot is just a bit larger than the root ball. This plant is called Dieffenbachia compacta. It is a desirable houseplant because of these gorgeous green and creamy white variegated leaves. But let me warn you, though, that this plant is highly poisonous to humans and to animals. This plant is called prayer plant. Its scientific name is Maranta leucanura. The leaves on this plant are stunning with dark green, chartreuse, and bright pink. I'm going to remove the next plant, which is either dead or mostly dead. I think this used to be a Dracaena marginata. I'm going to set it aside and come back, and then I can decide if I want to try and save it. Next up is a Croton. Its scientific name is Codiaeum variegatum. Again, a plant with amazing foliage. Bright red, green, and yellow leaves are so cheery to look at. Again, this plant is poisonous. Is it me? Or do a lot of the popular houseplants have this teensy problem of being highly poisonous? Here's another goner. I can't even guess what this poor baby used to be. Last, we have a jade pothos, or more specifically, 3 small pothos combined to make a larger looking plant. Its scientific name is Epipremnum aureum. Notice how my fingers are completely covered in potting mix. The soil in this planter was literally standing water. That, my friends, is why we should never use any planter that has no drainage holes. Our plants don't stand a chance for survival. Now I'll attempt to save this Dracaena. It was buried to there, but really this is where the roots start, so I'm going to be leaving all this above ground. No wonder this poor thing is mostly dead. I'm going to let this bedraggled looking thing dry out a bit, and then I'll water as needed. Hopefully it will live. The last thing I'll do is water each of the plants before I take them back to my grandma's house. Water deeply and let all the excess water drain through, and you should be good for the next 10 to 14 days. I wanted to share a few thoughts after watching back through this video. First, I did take these plants outside to make this video, but none of them are able to tolerate full sun situations in your home. I just wanted to enjoy the 65-degree weather we had in the middle of November, and I only had them outside for 15 minutes or so. Secondly, I was really struck by the ease with which we can buy plants for our home that are so dangerous. So I felt responsible to urge everyone watching to really research the plants that you bring into your home, especially if you have children or pets living with you. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Liquid Amber Girl, gardening.